Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. I was asked to do a rotational guide for the speckled bass here at the Amazonian Maze. I'm going to start here and show you up several spots. That there is up by the island. That's my first spot. And I'll also talk about target isolation, that sort of thing. There is trophy shark here, so kind of be aware of what you're throwing. I'll show you my favorite lure, just in particular if you're farming for them and that sort of thing. Now this one probably would come in handy if you ever made the World Bass Tour semifinals, usually held around April or May, I think, here on Fishing Planet as well. You could also use these spots for the amazing bass hunt. I'll go over that briefly with you, but here's another spot down here in the corner. Now this spot overlaps with that one, but you can get the trophy or the unique there from either one. So I'm following along. If you did not get one from there, now I know this spot does not overlap with that corner or the other spot. Again, I probably have around 25 to 30 marks for these things. I'm going to show you this kind of a rotation that I usually like to follow. Some of the other spots are way up there, so I didn't include all 30, and that would take a long time to show 30 marks. This place is absolutely loaded with the bass, but I will show you several marks in the event you're looking at. Same thing over here. This spot will actually overlap with this spot up here, but if you're looking to farm, even the Orico, Speckled, they're all there together. It just kind of depends on what you're trying to do, whether you're in a competition or a qualifier, or semifinal, that sort of thing, or you're just simply looking to have fun. You can follow this thing kind of all the way around, kind of past Arapaima Rock, which would be right up there. But this spot in particular, there's Tri-Era right here. A lot of people don't have this spot, and it's kind of tricky to fish this one. I can get this one out, and I'd even do so in a clip in the upcoming. I'll walk you through some stuff as well. But there's another great spot there on the map. I zoom that out in the event that you're looking for that. Now, again, you can just kind of come up through here. Here's another spot. That's probably on YouTube all over. That one's been on YouTube probably for a while. I'm sure a lot of people have that spot. Some of you may or may not have this spot as well. And then again, there's another spot up and to the right that doesn't overlap. There's a great spot that I like. The unique is there. Trust me, I've even hit that one, the point by point before playing in that competition. As well as there's a spot way up here that doesn't overlap. That one's kind of tough to get out. And then again, kind of coming all the way back down here by the boat dock, there is one. Some people have it as well. Again, that's just depending on what you're trying to do. There is Tri-Era there, so be very, very careful, especially if you're going to throw a popper. And I'll kind of show you a clip of why I like the lure I like here. I'll give you a big hint right out of the gate. But here, in the event you're trying to do a dual swim bait for the amazing bass hunt, that sort of thing, I do tend to like, even on top water or for these, just they take kind of a special retrieve in my opinion. Oh, there's another setup if you're looking to farm. That's just basically a little bass caster there with the, I think it's that the Ambassador, I want to say that's what that's called, but it's just a little 23, 25 pound setup. That's a great setup for those, whether you want to run a popper or a walker or even a buzzbait, that sort of thing. Again, you could put a thunder spin or a kraken on that, just kind of depending on what you're doing and what your style is going to be. Now I'm just kind of showing you a spot here. In the event that you're trying to practice for the amazing bass hunt, you'll notice slower reel speed for me seems to do better with kind of like sky twitching, so to speak, near the bottom. If you need more help on swim baits and that sort of thing on how to use them, I do have a lure guide up on my channel for pretty much every lure class in the game, swim baits, jerk baits, kind of where these guys would fall into that category, as well as topwater, complete topwater lure guide if you need to. Look around on my playlist, go to gears and setups. You'll usually find that my lure guides, I think, are all there in the event that you need it. Just kind of showing you here this on this setup, and this is basically just a little Loki 810. Most of the time I will use this for top water, but there is instances, I think, with a slower reel speed seems to help on these guys. Now again, this is just in free mode, guys. You'll find one big difference in free mode and competitions. There's an entirely different animal, even if you fish the same peak, oddly enough. But I'm just showing you a perfect example here. This is my favorite lure for these things. Now, if you don't have the Vampire Mouse, try the 7.0 black one or the gray one. I think the gray one does cost bait coins, but you can see with a slower reel speed, I usually have pretty good luck. Again, on just kind of an isolation, if you're looking to target, isolate, or isolate out blocker fish. Now, if you throw a swim bait there, an amazing bass hunt, guess what? You guys probably watched me play that before. You're going to get shark. You're going to get shark there. But with that being said, I'm just free fishing. It's kind of showing you here. I did demonstrate you can get those guys on swim baits, kind of find where they're at in the water column. That does help. as well as getting, I think, the proper speed to get those uniques to bite. Again, practice, those things for yourself. Just here also, if you're throwing a swim bait that's something you don't want to lose, make sure you have a titanium leader on it and a bigger setup. And also just want to show you something too. A lot of people love buzz baits for these, and there's nothing wrong with them, but I just wanted to show you too. Just using that mouse, you will not get, I've never got an Era 1 on it. I've never got a Tri-Era on it. So that's a big, big tip there if you're looking to farm those. For me, the mouse seems to be the best. I will occasionally get a Piranha on a mouse, but other than that, very, very rarely a Arapaima, kind of depending on where you're fishing. Yes, Arapaima will hit a mouse. They don't love it, but they will hit it. Then just kind of showing you a blocker there if you're using buzzbaits. Now you can try different pairings, that sort of thing. You guys have probably seen me fish this spot and point by point many times. This is another what I would say blended spot. Got the Orco, I think they're called, as well as the butterfly bass are also here. But there is unique speckled right there off of that bush. Now I'm just getting off of another one of these marks here. Just again showing you the effectiveness of the vampire mouse. I think for me, pound for pound is my favorite. Don't mean that has to be your favorite, but again, it does help to learn all the lure classes in the game. The mouse is basically going to kind of act like a walker, but that's a very, very nice size unique. As well as you notice there, the cash and the XP is not bad there on these things. I think, again, not to requote it, but pound for pound, the bass pay pretty good per pound if you're looking to farm and have fun. Now, here's a pretty good spot, and what I wanted to show here, Tri-Era is out there everywhere. A lot of people I know in the past have probably lost if you're trying to run without a titanium leader, that sort of thing. And if a Tri-Era hits you on a popper, major poppers are also great for these things. Not saying that they're not, but in the event that you're trying to target isolate out and not pick up a Tri-Era in this spot in particular, they share this spot. So you throw a major popper out there, you can still get, you'll still get your speckle, but I think you get them a little quicker, in my opinion, with a mouse. Same thing there. If you throw a buzzbait with a crawl or a shad, or something like that, again, you're gonna open yourself up to missing on Tri-Era. So if you're specifically trying to target just the speckled, I usually have the best of luck again on the mouse. And that's kind of illustrating too. Another thing here is I've never really noticed a difference in bite rate. So I basically just right here throw my Tropicana on real quick with even a titanium leader. And I just wanted to show you this. I'm just following up trying to get the trophy. I did get the trophy here right behind the unique speckled. And I'm just kind of showing you here just a real quick setup on this. This is obviously overkill for the size of a fish, but in the event that I missed, just also showing you that I did get these things to bite. The titanium leader did not seem to phase me. Again, a couple of those shark spots when I was playing the amazing bass hunt here at the Amazonian Maze. A titanium leader for me never really affected the bite rate on the speckled. Now again, just showing you another spot, just showing you all these spots do work. A guy was asking for rotational on this, and I'm just kind of showing you how I go through and used to farm them. And a lot of these spots that I'd found in the past here was just, that was even an old bait mark, but I just never remarked it. But again, watch closely here as that big behemoth comes out of there. Sometimes they might miss, but go ahead and just keep that lure working, because more times than not, you'll find even on the same cast, I would say even work these things all the way to the boat. You'll see in an upcoming clip too. As you can see, that fish actually just came right back for it. So in other words, don't get too frustrated when it misses. That's when you kind of want to focus. You'll notice a lot of fish in the game, or even in real life in general, you might even have a fish follow your lure all the way to the boat and or bank or dock, depending on what you're doing. They're even in real life. So they did, Fishing Planet, I think, did an amazing job in that regard to illustrate that the fish will follow that. So once it's spawned and it seems interested in your lure, definitely encourage you guys to keep casting or keep retrieving that lure all the way up. Now watch just a point example here. Watch this and how close I am when this thing comes up. Boom, right there. I mean, I was like 25, 30 feet out. And this here is another gigantic speckled. And this is another spot too, as you notice there, Tri-Era is over there. A lot of people don't have this spot. I'm pretty certain. And again, this is another spot. Be careful again if you're throwing swim baits. Obviously, a tri-arrow would hit the swim bait, but again, I'm just illustrating if you're particularly just wanting to farm these things. It's a great, great lure. Probably one of my favorite in the game is the vampire mouse for numerous bass species, as well as other, some other fish in the game. But again, I think this is one of my favorite event lures. Maybe second to the roach spoon. If not, pretty even tie there. But another 25-pound speckled here at the Amazonian maze. And again, probably the easiest spot for you guys to probably learn is right here. At the beginning of the video, I showed this here. It's just right here at Sebastian Church. I just actually cast just kind of at the 1 o'clock mark there. And you'll notice this is a great spot to, when you're first trying to catch some speckled bass, you'll find that you can get these guys right here off of this dock. Nice and easy. And I'd have to look back. I can't remember. I want to say the uniques might respawn an hour and 15. It might be that long real time. I cannot remember. But with so many spots, unless you're in like the semifinals or something like that, you wouldn't really have to worry about it. Just rotate from one spot to the next. And I do truly hope this helps you guys out on the speckled bass here at the Amazonian Maze. Take care, and we'll see you guys again in the next one.